And good morning on this fine
morning.
What is today, Dan?
Today is this button up here at top.
Huh? What am I doing? Oh. Hello! Can we hear you now?
You sure can. Good morning, everybody.
Yeah, good morning.
Oh boy, today is a Wednesday. No, it's a Tuesday.
What day is it, Dan?
Today is Tuesday. It's the
We're not
3rd,
even sure.
December 3rd. I'm counting the days till Christmas.
What'd you do last night, Dan?
Well, we participated in the Harrison Christmas Parade,
We did.
and it was cold.
Yeah,
oh my gosh, it was really cold.
It was cold. And, you know, if we didn't do that, then we could probably sit at home and watch it on hometown television.
Yeah.
But it's not that
And
way.
it was live all over the place, and it was on our hometown television website.
Mm-hmm.
It was on our Facebook page. It was also on the YouTube channel. And if you want to watch it again, that's where you can go now. And then we're going to produce a little. So we do the Jasper Parade, the Harrison Parade, and also the Mountain Home Parade, and we will play those intermittently on our television channel throughout the Christmas holiday season.
And if he thinks about it, he'll put a YouTube link or something on our Around the Table Facebook page.
Yes.
And I shared it on my personal one, but I guess I could share it on the
You
Around
can
the
do
Table
that.
page as
Sure
well.
can.
There you go.
Yeah, but we had a good time. There was, what you say, over 120 some
There's supposed to be 125-ish, I think,
Entries?
entries.
in the parade. I think everybody was, the people that were on the floats, a lot of them were pretty rambunctious.
They were.
They had a good time.
Yeah, they did.
You know, we'd mention their names and they would just go crazy.
The crowd was a little smaller, and I think that's just due to the freezing cold weather.
And I want to thank Ann for bringing that electric blanket. And if I didn't have that electric blanket shared over my lap, I think I would have said, guys, I'm going home, I'm cold.
Yeah.
Because it was really, really, really cold.
It was. Now, had you not been there and I shared as I did, I would have wrapped that thing all around my entire body.
Well, you probably should.
But you know, well, no, it was quite all right. I mean, it was cold, but my hands are what gets cold because we can't wear gloves because you got to piddle through papers and. Anyway.
Well, I used my mittens, and I crinkled that paper up so
What was in your
mangled.
mittens?
Huh?
What was in your mittens?
Little hand warmers that you donated. But I brought them back.
He brought
them
them
back.
They're not working anymore, but he brought them back.
You have to revitalize them somehow.
Well, I think I have to buy more is what that's called. But they were well worth the investment.
Well, we're going to be doing the Mountain Home Parade this Friday, and it'll be live.
Is it supposed to be as cold? Do you know?
I don't know, but I'm going to get an electric blanket and some hand warmers.
You need to get, those, well, I don't know what they're called. These were called toe warmers.
Well, they're just little packets of chemicals, and you
it's
crunch
probably
them around.
Poisoning us while we heat up, but
I don't care. They were warm.
They were warm. Exactly. We needed that.
You know, after that, my hands glowed in the dark, so they must have been radioactive of some kind.
I was trying to kill you off. That was it.
That's it.
That is not true. I didn't say that and mean it.
Oh, boy.
Oh,
we've got a big show this morning.
We do. We have 2 different segments of guests.
Yeah.
So
we're going to hit the ground running on this
one.
one.
We will. We'll have Shawna Woehl and Becky Brasel with Learning Center of Northwest Arkansas. And also as a second segment.
I thought you as a bonus.
Well, as a bonus, we'll have
bonus?
Michael Crouch, who directs the Harrison Community Choir.
Yeah. He's got a big event coming up.
He does, for
Now,
sure.
you're in that choir.
I am
right?
in that choir.
Now, do you have to go to practice, or you just show up the day of?
No. We practice every Sunday afternoon for at least an hour and a half to 2 hours.
Are these songs that you've never heard of before, or?
They're all from the Messiah.
Okay, so you
I'm
know
familiar. I have done sections of the Messiah for a long time, but I'm telling you, when you don't do it for a year,
yeah,
and the older I get, I forget.
Now, do you ever have the feeling that you're so confident that you want to break out into a solo?
Well, I have a solo, and I don't want to break out into it. So, no. I don't feel ever that confident. But
well, that's good.
Anyway,
okay.
it's challenging.
I was going to ask you where it's going to be, but we'll find out.
We'll find out when Michael's here.
It's a tease to make you listen.
Please listen.
Now, this is an open event, right? People can come?
Yes, it's free.
You don't have to be a club member?
No.
Okay.
So we'll give more details here
Okay.
on the second half
Is there
hour.
an age requirement that you have to meet?
You want to keep talking?
I could.
I know you could.
You have to show a driver's license. when
Well,
show up?
I'm gonna ask them to please card you,
Card me.
and charge you admission.
Admission.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, he'll be coming up in the bottom part of the
Yeah.
hour.
I wasn't sure
A
how
bit
to
later.
word that. I don't want it to
the
sound
second half of the show.
disrespectful, but you're in the bottom half.
You're in the bottom.
of the show.
Yeah, buddy. You're in the bottom part.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
You know, I think yesterday wasn't too bad during the day. It was cold,
Mm-hmm.
but it was sunny, and that kind of helped feel warmer.
Yeah.
I think, and
And
today's
it's really warm when you're looking out the window into the weather. At how sunny it looked.
and how warm it was inside.
Yeah. And when you go out, it's like, ooh, that wind just kind of cuts right through you. Ooh, I think I'm going to go back in.
Exactly. I don't
Yeah.
want to be out here.
Yeah.
So today should kind of follow that trend of sunny with a high of 45, and then mostly clear tonight with a low of 30. South wind 5 to 10 miles per hour. That's what gets ya, is that wind. What are you doing?
I'm
Fixing me?
adjusting your camera.
Okay, well, thank you. Sunny tomorrow with a high of 58. Oh, it'll be like a heat wave, people.
Oh, my gosh.
Wednesday night, mostly clear with a low of 25. Again, gusts could be up to 20 miles per hour. And Thursday, sunny with a high of 38. Gust possible Thursday night, mostly clear with a low of 20. You know what? This is typical.
It is
The
typical this
gusty
time of
and
year. It's not dramatic weather. There's no
it's
cold.
not.
I mean, there is a cold front, and it stays cold all the time. Anyway, Friday we have a high of 45, calm winds, and then Friday night, partly cloudy with a low around 30 degrees. Saturday, high of 56 with a low for the overnight low is 38. And then Sunday and Monday, the high is going to be close to 60 with maybe some slight chances of rain coming in.
We need some rain. My dirt road is so dusty.
Well, can't you just take some water bottles and
Not that far.
No.
No, I'm not. Do you have a water truck I can use? Speaking of trucks, do you have a water truck I can use?
what? No.
There was plenty of them in the parade because we had a lot of
Right.
representation of all the
Yeah.
area volunteer fire departments, which is always nice to see.
I don't think they have sprayers in the back. I think these are like tanker trucks. I think they're called tanker
They
trucks.
just have to come out of a hose, or I don't know.
Yeah, they pump water out of them when they're on
Uh-huh.
remote locations where there's not a hydrant close
Right.
by. You have to go fill them up, and then you got to take them out to the place, and then they.
That's a lot.
Yeah, it's those volunteer firemen and fire people. They work,
They do.
and they do it volunteer, and they work. And most things happen when you're in deep sleep.
You know, maybe we should do a whole theme of volunteer fire departments on the show.
Okay, you want to bring them all in at once?
No, I think we should just feature
A
different
couple.
ones
of them?
if they'll come talk. I
Okay.
don't know.
All right.
It's a thought.
Well,
Get on that, Dan.
I might do that. I've got somebody in mind that is a volunteer fire. He's my my granddaughter's husband.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's what? Do you know which fire
It's
department?
Crooked Creek.
Okay, because I have someone maybe in the Bergman area that I
Okay.
can. So yeah, we'll
We'll
work
do
on
that.
it. Okay, well, y'all just got to hear us brainstorm.
Okay.
That's how we
This
roll.
is how we get guests.
Yes, it is. And if you would like to be one of those guests, please
this time
comment.
This time of year, people have the holidays, and once these Christmas things are out of the way, the events kind of
Right.
go to nothing.
And
So we have to rely on other things. So if you have an idea for a guest on the show, somebody that's very
Yeah.
interesting, somebody that's had a life experience, we always like to feature those. We have a segment called, what do we call that segment? Person of interest.
keep going.
I'm going to dig this hole so deep. And if there are any events that you're having throughout the year, please let us know about it. We'll have you come on the show. We can even do phone interviews if you're too lazy to come in. Or if the
bam.
weather's too bad.
Boom chakalaka,
Boom
Dan.
chakalaka, yeah.
I sorry, y'all. I think I'm having a hot flash.
Little heat wave going on.
Yeah,
Too many logs on the fire this morning.
something. So
Okay.
your topics to ponder this week have been or are Christmas
Related, yeah.
Christmas related, or at least today. And anyway,
Yeah,
but we're gonna whoop through today's.
Yeah.
How about that?
okay.
Get up, get moving, get those thinking caps on. It's time to ponder this topic.
You wanna ask it, or you want to sweat first? We're in a sweat box.
Is Christmas a big part of your life this time of year, and why?
Yes,
Yeah.
it is.
Why is it?
You know, a lot of people like. I was reading some of the comments that were already there this morning,
Okay.
and some people said no, they thought it was commercialized in Christmas.
Yes.
But my mind takes me back to the reason we have Christmas, and that's
yeah.
because Jesus was born, and so that nobody's ever going to take that away. Nobody's ever going to lessen that, for me anyway.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's why it's a big time of year, because it's such a personal impact for me of what that started and what. Anyway, it's my
Yeah.
spiritual journey.
Yeah, well, that's good.
And I mean, I enjoy Christmas anyway. I like it, but mainly for Jesus is the reason for the season.
Sure, yeah. I mean,
But
that's how it all started.
how I did.
I don't know how it got conglomerated into Santa Claus and the whole thing.
Right. But it's about giving.
Yeah, it's about giving, and I think as a child, I think you can separate those two things.
Right.
You can have fun with the Santa Claus thing, and you can still believe that there's a Christ and a Savior.
But you have to teach that. You know, you have
Yeah,
to. That
sure do.
Kids have to hear about that to know. Y'all.
Boy, it's hot in here.
You-
What's wrong clothes?
oh my.
I like it because it's family time. You get family
Yeah.
together. You know, Thanksgiving's one thing, but Christmas is a different mood. It's
It
like,
is a different mood.
It's a giving thing, you know, and it's about giving. It's not about how many things you can get. It's about, you know, the sacrifice and the whole story behind all that.
I think when you're a kid, it's probably about what you're getting. You know what I mean? When you're a young child. But if you just help to hone their thoughts as to why we really do it.
Yeah.
And, yeah.
Now, do you? I really for Christmas gifts, I really don't want or need anything,
Same.
and I like to do for the kids.
Right.
I like to buy things for the kids.
Sure.
But for the adults, it's like, what could I possibly get you? Gift card, or maybe eat out certificate or something like that. But
Yeah. Yeah. I have one little kid that's not going to get it. I mean, he's getting something, but he's not going to care because he's only like 6 weeks
yeah.
old. But it's okay.
just change his diaper. That's present enough.
Well, you know, feed him.
Yeah.
He's happy when you feed him.
That's exactly
and let him
right.
sleep. So,
Yeah.
yeah. Anyway, that's our topic to ponder. We want to know your thoughts. It's up on the Facebook page. Please give us your input.
All righty.
Right.
Yep.
And we're moving on to Today in History.
Okay.
We're doomed to repeat ourselves, so let's find out what happened today in history.
Well, we can't play this one, but 64 years ago, the Lerner and Lowe musical Camelot debuted on Broadway. And Richard Burton sang the title song to that.
Okay.
Alrighty, next.
We did not realize that it was going to be so newsworthy and evoke so much publicity and attention.
This was 57 years ago. Surgeons in Cape Town, South Africa, led by Dr. Christian Bernard, performed the first human heart transplant. Bernard later said that at the time he didn't realize the significance. The patient,
Wow.
Louis Washkansky, lived 18 days with the heart transplant. I'm
Wow.
going to run and hit the air conditioner.
I'm going to continue on.
You go right ahead.
We was up at the top and everybody was just pushing. I was on the bottom for about 20 minutes.
You was being stomped on for 20 minutes?
I was. I couldn't breathe. I thought I was dying.
45 years ago, 11 people were killed rushing the doors to a concert by The Who at Riverfront Coliseum in Cincinnati. Most seats were general admission and fans hurried to get the best view. The concert went on as scheduled, the band unaware of what happened. That fan that you heard was lucky to be alive. Let's see here.
We have the most outstanding safety considerations in our plants operating outside of the United States as we do within the United States.
40 years ago, in the most industrial accident ever, as many as 4,000 people died when a cloud of poison gas escaped from a Union Carbide plant in Bhopal, India. There were charges in India that Union Carbide skipped on safety because the plant was on foreign soil, an accusation denied by company president Warren Anderson.
Okay.
And
Prince William's wife, Catherine, the Duchess of Cambridge, is expecting a baby. A palace statement said the pregnancy was in its early stages and that the Duchess had been admitted to hospital with acute morning sickness.
And this was back in 2012, 12 years ago. Buckingham Palace announced there would be soon a new member of the royal family, and that was Prince George is now second in line to the throne.
okay.
Okay.
Dan, it didn't shut off.
It's
To succeed in our mission of national defense, we cannot afford to cut ourselves off from half the country's talents and skills.
9 years ago, Defense Secretary Ash Carter ordered the armed services to open an all military jobs to women, removing the final barriers that kept women from serving in combat, including the most dangerous and grueling commando posts. Okay, this next one, yours.
Yep, birthday cut. Singer and reality TV star Ozzy Osbourne was born in this day in 1948. He is 76 years old today.
He's crazy. Is this crazy
Crazy
train?
train,
He's an interesting feller.
He sure is.
That's all I got to say.
I'm Special Agent Starling, and just so we don't get off on the wrong foot, let me explain why we're all here.
Actress Julianne Moore was born on December 30th, 1960. She's 64. In Hannibal, the Oscar-winning winner took over the role of Clarice Starling, previously made famous by Jodie Foster in Silence of the Lambs.
Okay.
Actually, Otto, I'm lying like a rug. I'm not really the happy-go-lucky guy I appear to be. That's just my polka face.
Okay. I don't see that one. Is that Daryl Hannah? Is that the Daryl Hannah?
I don't even know what that one was.
Wow.
But it was supposed to be number 9.
Okay.
Just read her.
Actually, it's a birthday cut. Actress Daryl Hannah was born December 3rd, 1960. 64 years ago, she played opposite Steve Martin in Roxanne.
Singer Montel Jordan was born this day in 1968, 56. Sing along if you know the hits of 1995. This is how we do it. Are they going to take me off for that?
Yeah, maybe.
Go ahead.
Also, a birthday cut. Singer Daniel Bedingfield was born on this day in 1979. He's 45 today, and he made a song famous, "If You're Not the One."
And also singer Andy Grammer was born this day in 1983. He's 41. Honey, I'm Good is one of his hits.
Mm-hmm.
And
I'm kind of psychic. I have a fifth sense.
Actress Amanda Seyfried was born on this day in 1985. 39 years ago, she made her film debut as the lovable Karen in the teen comedy Mean Girls.
Mean Girls.
Is it cooling down in here for you?
Yeah, Dan.
My gosh,
Thank you. Well, we will take a break right now.
Yes.
And when we come back, we'll have Shawna and Becky from Learning Center of Northwest
Alrighty.
Arkansas with us. We invite you to stay with us. We will be right back.
Streaming live on Facebook and Hometown TV, channel 26.1.
Welcome back to Around the Table here at KHOZ with Ann and Dan.
Mm-hmm.
Good to have you.
That doesn't sound right.
I said that wrong.
That doesn't sound right at all.
Dan, I'm going to be in so much trouble. Right?
You know what it says in our contract. Dan is always first, and it's 2 pica font sizes taller.
I haven't heard pica font in a long time.
It has to be pica. It has to be pica font.
You're weird. It doesn't have to be anything.
Yes, it does.
No, it doesn't. So I win. In the studio with us, we have Shawna Woehl and Becky Brasel, and you all are with Learning Center of Northwest Arkansas, but you have taken on a new role there.
Yes.
So what is your role? And we want to know, what is the Learning Center? And each of you, talk about you just a little. Come on. We want who you are and all that, okay? All right.
Well, so my new role is the site director. I just started. Yesterday was my first official day.
And you got to be in a freaking cold parade.
And I got to do the parade, and it was a very big first day.
You bet.
But before that, I've been the ECDS there for a little over a year.
What is that?
Which is an early childhood development specialist.
Okay.
So my background and my degree is in early childhood education.
Oh, okay.
And so whenever Carla called me and offered the position to me for that, basically what I would do is I would be one of the evaluators, along with like a physical therapist, an occupational therapist, and a speech therapist.
Okay.
And then I would do my evaluation for developmental. So it's kind of like when you go to the doctor and they do that small little screening with the baby to make sure they're hitting their milestones.
Sure.
Mine was the same thing. It was just a little bit of a bigger screen, and it goes from birth to 5.
Oh, okay.
So,
I didn't.
Yeah,
there
so
you
that's
go.
what I did. So if they qualified for some developmental therapy along with another therapy, then that's what the center provides for them.
Okay. And what is your role, Becky?
I am over marketing and public relations for the Learning Center of North Arkansas.
So you get the word out about what it is that the Learning Center does.
Yes.
That's why you're here.
Yes.
Well, as the new, say your title again?
Site director.
Site director, that just puts you in charge of making sure all the stuff flows, I guess?
So kind of like if you were at, say, public school, because that's where my background was. So at public school, you have your elementary school, and then you have your principal. So basically, I'm the kind of like the equivalent of what the principal would be at our center.
Okay.
So the Learning Center has, is it 5 different locations? 6 different campuses.
Oh.
So I'm just over the Harrison campus.
Well, can you hit on where all these centers are located?
Oh, yes. We, a company started in Bearville. It was called the Carroll County Learning Center when it first started. And Wednesday, we're celebrating our 50th year
of
being in service. And in 2015, they decided to reach out to more areas. And so that's when the name changed to the Learning Center of North Arkansas.
Oh, okay.
And so, but we've been providing those services for birth to age 5, plus adults with disabilities as well. And so we provide housing for them in Green Forest and in Bearville, and we have day habilitation for adults with disabilities. And
so is the adults part only in the Bearville Green Forest area?
Yes.
All right. Wow.
So the initial concept of this mission started 50 years ago.
Yes.
And what, do you have any idea what the initial need was? Somebody said, we got to do this.
Right. Well, they had their children. It started small.
Okay. So it was a personal need with the founders.
Yes. And they said, we need a place for our loved ones to have a place to go. And so it started with a staff of 2 and a few people, and now we have over 160 employees now.
Yeah. And the ages, again, are from?
0 to age 5.
0, okay.
And then they go to public school, and then we have them after they graduate from high school.
So it's not really a daycare center. It's based on learning.
Right. Yes,
yeah, okay.
Yes, we try to make sure that when they are going to leave us and going to public school, they're ready for kindergarten.
Right.
So we focus on kindergarten readiness.
In Valley Springs, they had a little red house.
Yes,
and it was similar to that, I guess.
Yes.
How do you teach a newborn? Yeah. What's the learning process that you would teach a newborn?
It depends on what their delays are. So as far as
And
newborns, our babies and things like that.
Yeah.
The things that you're looking at are a lot of mobility.
Okay.
Like cognitively, you're looking at, are they looking at you and responding when you speak to them?
Mm-hmm.
Do they seem to be taking it in? When you make the silly faces and the silly voices, are they making contact and you're seeing that they're taking that in? They're going to try to mimic it. They're
So
learning
can
those
you
things.
diagnose? You don't do any diagnosing?
I cannot diagnose them. All I can do is say, yes, there are developmental delays here, and within the classroom, when they qualify, I build them a treatment plan.
Oh, okay.
So I can say, here are the goals that we want to get them to. So maybe they're performing at a 4-month level when they should be performing at an 8-month level.
Okay.
And so I can say, at 8 months, this child should be doing these things. They should be cooing. They should be trying to mimic you when you're making faces and things like that. And if they're not doing that, then I can build a treatment plan that says these are the things this child needs to work on within the classroom. So every child has 5 goals that they have to work on every single day. So the teacher in that room has these goals for every child in their class, and they sit down and work with them, and then at the end of the day they go into the computer system and they mark, is the child attaining this goal yet or not. And if the child masters that goal, they've done it for the teacher 10 times in a row. So for 10 days in a row without fail, they're doing this goal, whatever it is, then the teacher can mark that goal complete, and then I'll go in and give them the next goal so that hopefully we can get them caught up. So by the time they go to kindergarten, the plan is that they're going to be meeting exactly where they need to be or above that, because they've been getting all this special treatment.
Do you ever have situations where they're having trouble at home and it affects their learning?
Yes.
Yeah.
So some of the things that we look at on the developmental end is their personal social skills.
Right.
And then like adaptive skills, like the things that you do to take care of yourself. Now, obviously, that's harder with the newborns because they don't do a lot of that. But as they get older, there's a lot of the self-help things. Like, do they help you when you're trying to dress the child, put the coat on? Do they help put their arm through, or is it just like a wet noodle?
Okay.
So things like that you can work on that are those kinds of social skills. And sometimes that is environmental. So once you get them in the system and you get them going and working with those social skills, they just thrive.
Some parents may not even recognize that as not being a normal behavior at that age.
Absolutely.
So education for that is key.
It's huge.
Wow.
So if they're in a home environment where there's no stimulation, then they're going to have a learning disability.
Yes.
Is that right?
Right.
Okay.
And not necessarily a disability, just a delay.
A delay.
Right.
Yeah.
We've been able to see a child who was, and it may have been that the parents didn't understand, but we do have the evidence of a child that was left in a car seat.
A car seat. We have a lot of foster children that will come to our center. Doctors will send them there.
Okay.
End up being able to finally walk. We have to teach them how to start using their legs and how to.
Wow.
And it's great to see that growth and get them caught up before they start school.
Okay.
Well, how do people find out about you to know to go? I mean, is it through a doctor or who initially might send someone to you?
Well, Becky does everything she can to get the word out that we exist, but she also goes and meets with doctors' offices here in town and lets them know this is a service that we provide. So if you have patients that you're noticing delays, keep us in mind. This is something we're providing for the community. Sometimes parents will come in and say the doctor asked them to come by. But we do get a referral form that we will send to the doctor's office, and the doctor will sign off and say, yes, we are seeing, they do their own developmental screening, and they're saying, yeah, we're seeing some delays as well.
Okay.
And so they give us permission to do further evaluations.
Okay. So you find that just one-on-one maybe and a lot of repetition helps to change that whole dynamic.
Yes.
I hope.
And it's not one-on-one, but like, you know how regular state licensed daycares have their student to teacher ratio that you're allowed to have. So we have that, but ours is more strict because we're a day treatment place. So we have fewer students per adult so that they can do more of those goals and more individual work with them. So there's less just playing and doing their thing. We're learning through play. And the teacher's helping guide that and facilitate and making sure it's meeting what they're needing. And so they do a lot of work with them in that way. So it is maybe a little harder for the center in that sense, because we have to have so much more staff.
Sure.
Because we can't have so many kids and not have the extra staff,
Right.
so we have to have that. But we work very closely with the therapist in the building. If the child qualified for physical therapy, then me and the teacher will talk with the therapist, like, what are some of the things that you're working on in therapy that we can reinforce in the classroom?
Okay.
So, like, one of the common things for the toddler stage is stairs.
Uh-huh.
You know, a lot of kids end up having that kind of a natural fear
Yes.
of the steps, of going up the steps
Okay.
or down. And so if you've noticed, some kids in public, they'll crawl up the steps. They
Yeah.
do
Right.
not want to
Yeah,
walk
yeah.
up the
Right.
steps. They cry for mom to either pick them up or they will get down on their hands and knees and crawl. So those are some of the things that we work on. So, like, on the playground, we have this little plastic thing that's just steps with a platform on the top of it. And so the teachers will go out there and make a game out of it, of
Sure.
going up the steps and then
Sure.
going
Okay.
down the other side.
Right.
And of course, they're age appropriate, so they're very tiny steps. So even if they had a misstep or a fall, they would see, oh, that didn't hurt. I am
Right.
okay.
Right. Conquer your fears.
Yes,
Yeah,
exactly.
that's it.
Where are y'all located?
It's the
Well,
old
on Roberta
Masonic
Street.
Lodge,
Yeah.
but
You're right. It's on Roberta Street.
yes, 101 Roberta,
Yeah,
I believe is what
101
it is. But if you're familiar with the area, it's it's right by the South and Staff Branch.
Okay.
So if you're like going towards Bellefonte, it's just at the end of town right there.
Okay.
Okay.
We
Yeah, I know
also
what's that.
have sites in Alpena, Green Forest, Bearville, Jasper. We just opened it last year, and Huntsville.
Okay.
So
Well, lots of help out there.
Yeah,
then.
Becky. So
Yes.
you're available to come to organizations and speak. I'm sure you've hit all of the local clubs around. And
yeah, well, we've I know we went to a Noons Lions meeting, and so yeah, we're available.
You're available.
They're
Okay.
available.
We're available.
She's willing to go.
Yes.
To go out and educate.
Yes.
Where can people on social media, or how can they call you? What's your contact information?
Well, they can reach me through my email, and it's rbrasel@tlcna.com.
Okay.
Okay.
We also have a Facebook page.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. They
Learning
message me
Center of
on
Northwest
Facebook.
Arkansas.
Yes. They can follow us
Okay.
on Facebook and Instagram.
Okay.
Are you in charge of that too?
Yes.
Oh, bless you. Well, ladies, thank you
Yeah.
for coming in this morning and for
Well, thank you for
educating
having us.
us.
Yes, thank you.
We appreciate that you were here.
Yep.
All right. We need to take a break, and when we return, we will have Michael Crouch, and his wife Ruth is here as well, who is our pianist.
Okay.
So,
Great.
stay with us. We'll be right back on Around the Table.
Find us on air, online, and streaming live on Facebook. Around the Table on the original KHOZ.
We're all being psyched out by how calm everything is in here, right?
That's right.
We weren't talking about anything. Everything's quiet. We have in the studio an addition that we were not necessarily aware we were going to have, but we like it because we've talked her into coming in, and that would be Ruth Crouch. But you were with Michael, who is your husband, but also the director of the Harrison Community Choir here. And that is a new job for you, so to speak, or a new volunteer position for you, I should say, within the last year. Was that your first year to direct?
Yes, I do not like to think of it as a job. It's fun. It's just a fun activity to do with community, and I just think of it very differently. And I've had a very different experience with the community choir than I had teaching school every day.
Well, it's actually been around for quite some time, but it's been through different directorship. And you took over as the director last year, but you had sung with the whole choir the year before that. Isn't that what kind of got you back into the groove, or not?
Yes, I sang one time with it. Actually, I sang it one time way back in college, okay. And then Ruth was playing piano for it.
As she still
does. And, listening to her playing every day, and she's like, "You might as well do this with me." I'm like, "I don't want to. I'm retired. I want to get away from this."
So she's the reason for all this.
It's her fault. And she drew me in, and so I was able to sing one year, and that was actually a big blessing. It was an easy step, as opposed to just stepping in and directing it.
Well, and to back up, Michael was the director of the Harrison High School Choir for I don't know how many years, and Ruth the accompanist.
Yes, well, 32 in the district, but 19 at the high school.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then this just kind of, you retired, and then you've kind of transitioned back into, getting back out there and helping us singers do our thing as best we can, right?
Do you ever lose the thrill of singing, though?
No.
Yeah.
No.
And I think for most people that are in a creative vein, either for a hobby or whatever, that never goes away. It could be the passion of your existence as a job, and you get paid for it. But when it's over with, it doesn't go away. Is that true?
Yeah, I feel like I need this more than it needs me.
Yeah.
And that's a really
it's your drug.
Thing. Yes.
It is a
therapy.
Really is, or therapy or drug or whatever.
For sure.
Yeah. And performing Handel's Messiah or pieces from Handel's Messiah, what a better way to celebrate Christmas, but also it's a focal challenge, people.
It's a brain sharpener.
It most definitely is. So tell us a little bit about the history maybe of Handel, of the Messiah. We don't have all day.
Yeah, I won't go deep into it. Just a few things. Try to say some things differently than I did last year. But George Friedrich was born actually in the same year as Bach, and they were born 100 miles from one another and never met each other. Of course,
wow.
And they're both icons of music, in our society today, hundreds of years after they've passed. Bach was more of a musician of the church. Handel, his dad wanted him to be a lawyer, and that's what you're going to do. And but that didn't happen. He wound up writing operas, getting the operas going. He was born in Germany, but he left Germany for London because that's where the people were, and that's where the money was. That's where the society wanted to be entertained. And so Handel, at the permission of a prince that he was working for, allowed him for a quote-unquote short term to go to London. Handel said he would be back, and 50 years later, he never returned. So he did that. The first performance of Messiah was actually in Ireland, in Dublin, Ireland. And but back to Handel wrote operas and Italian operas. And there came a time, I'll try to tune this in, bring this back into Messiah, but there came a time where the Italian opera began to lose its fervor for the people. They were burnt out. They wanted something new. Well, Handel lived his life broke and in debt, because every time he wrote something, he would put all of his money into it. He would hire all of his musicians, hire all of his singers, hire everybody for the scenery, all the things to create an opera. Well, after being broke, he decided he would write this new form of music called the oratorio. And when he did that, it was less costly because there was not the scenery, and you didn't have to have the stage. You could perform them outside. Right. You could perform them anywhere. And but still, yet he never made any money because he kept putting it back into his music. But that's how the oratorio began, this new form of music. And Handel was a musician or a composer of the people. He was kind of like who's the big superstar today? What's her name?
Taylor Swift.
Taylor Swift. You know, he was kind of the Taylor Swift back then, because he made his money from drawing the people, not working for the church or working for. So anyway, he was the new musician, and so that's that. But when he wrote Messiah, I'll jump forward. But when he wrote Messiah, he took the text from the Bible, of course. We know that, which was, a great, from the book of Isaiah. Mrs. Crouch is telling me she's feeding me here.
She knows.
Yeah, she knows. She's the one that got me through music history. I'll tell you that right now. But anyway, when he wrote Messiah, took the text from the Bible, and it wasn't popular in the beginning, and it had a lot to do with church music being done in the church, not out in society, and that's the reason. That's the reason why operas weren't popular in Rome, because the Pope was against it, and so it didn't happen. But it was popular all over Italy, but not in Rome. But anyway, Handel's Messiah. When Handel wrote Messiah, he wrote it in like 23 days.
That's crazy.
He sat and he said God visited him. That's how he quoted it. He said God visited me. And he didn't eat. He wouldn't eat. He was
consumed.
He was consumed with getting this down, and he did it in 23 days, which is amazing, absolutely amazing.
Wow.
So,
yeah,
there's that.
So, as we're talking about the Messiah, there will be a performance of Handel's Messiah, and you're directing the Harrison Community Choir. And tell us about where this will take place and time, so that people who are listening would love to come, I'm sure.
Right. You need to plan this as a part of your Christmas, as a part of your the things that you want to do during this season. Messiah will be performed Monday night, December the 16th, 7 p.m. at First Baptist Church in Harrison. And we certainly want to say thank you to the pastors and the church. They have been incredibly welcoming and helpful for us, very generous with their time, and giving us space to rehearse and putting the people together to do all the background work and all the sound work that needs to be done so that something like this can happen. So we certainly want to say thank you to First Baptist, and that's where it'll be. Free to the public. Please come and listen. I believe there will be some punch and cookies afterward. Is that the case? That's what I understand. And so, hey, little Messiah, help us with the Christmas season, and also join a little punch and cookies afterward.
Yeah. Now, if you're listening and you're interested maybe in becoming a member of the Harrison Community Choir, that's always an option too. It might be a little hard to jump on in there with 2 practices left for this year.
Well, for next year.
But there, you could certainly contact me, and I'll get you in touch with Mr.
There you go.
Yeah.
I just opened myself up. But you can do that on Facebook, because I'm not putting my number out there.
I want to ask Ruth, do you sing at all? Could you pull that microphone closer?
Yes, I sang all through high school and college.
Okay.
Quite well.
Do you ever sing with the choir? Or
well,
I know you play the piano.
Yeah, it's difficult to sing and play handle at the same time.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
So no, I don't usually sing with the choir, but I do sing in my heart and enjoy playing along.
Is there a lot of singing at home?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Our grandsons are singing along too. So.
Does it ever stop? No. Yeah, actually, our 7-year-old grandson is walking around the house going, hallelujah, hallelujah. Sure is.
Cool, very nice.
So,
does that fill your heart?
Absolutely.
Oh, yes. Yeah.
Singing is
it's a spiritual thing, is it not?
It is spiritual.
Yeah.
To the life in our house. Music happens all day long, all the time.
Yeah. Do you compete over who does the lead and who does the harmony?
Nah. If someone starts, the other person just takes their place.
Takes over.
Well, you're a very musical couple. So, again, the Messiah will be at the First Baptist Church on December 16th, starting at 7 p.m.
7 p.m.
And we invite the public to attend, and there will be a reception afterwards. And there will be donations accepted as well, because this doesn't go without some cost.
Sure. Yeah.
So feel free to
if you
donate
enjoy
when you
the
come.
performance, you can give.
Even if
No
you don't
restrictions
enjoy
on
it,
that.
you can. No, I'm just kidding. You're going to enjoy it. People are going to enjoy it.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
Well, thank you, Michael
Thanks,
and
guys.
Ruth, for coming in and talking to us about the Messiah. And I'll probably call you next year. So be ready.
Okey-dokey.
But
All
again,
right.
December 16th. We need to go to break, and when we return, we'll finish out the hour of the show. We'll be right back.
Streaming live on Facebook and Hometown TV, channel 26.1.
Welcome back as we just about ready.
Oh, sorry.
Before you continue with your evil laugh, I want to mention that Mr. Crouch forgot to mention the soloist for the Messiah on December 16th, and David Davis is the tenor soloist. Bass will be John Sherman. Alto soprano is Julie Jasper. Soprano, alto Alicia Graham. And she's kind of singing parts that are encompass both. Christine Adams is singing one of the alto solos, and I'm singing a soprano solo.
Soprano solo, okay.
Yeah. So
now when they do solos, is it just a portion of the song, or is it the entire song?
Some of them have entire songs, and some of us
with a backup
have
from
a
the choir.
With some, well, no, you're gonna have to come and see and listen. I'm just saying.
You know, they used to have a bells.
A bell choir.
A bell choir.
Yeah.
At one time, and I don't know if they still do that. I know it was.
I know First Baptist Church does. We did it at the Presbyterian Church.
Yeah.
And the Baptist Church is actually where I started doing it.
Okay.
But
I wonder if they have that again.
I think they still have the handbell choir.
Handbells, that's what it was.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun.
This is a fun time of year.
It is.
Yeah, we were talking about music earlier and how spiritual it is.
Right.
It evokes deep emotion.
It does.
And when I hear a certain song, it wells up in me.
Do you ever cry?
Oh yeah.
Me too.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Or it brings either it brings back a certain memory or something, that's very emotional, or just the feel of the music. It's all of it combined. The words, the feel of the music. I don't know.
And I can tell you, if you're watching a scene on, you can try this. You can put this to the test. You can start watching a movie, and if it starts to invoke that emotion, either happiness or sadness or fear or whatever, just mute the sound and see if all that goes away.
That's an interesting thought.
It does.
Wow.
Yeah, music is a powerful force.
It is. I agree.
Yeah, and it hits you from the inside out.
100% agree.
Mm-hmm.
I'd be interested to know if anybody's listening who thinks music does nothing for me and why. I mean, seriously, there may be people out there that are not moved by music. Ponder. Perhaps, Dan, put that in your little pipe and smoke it.
Yeah. You know what today is?
Giving Tuesday, is it not?
Yes.
I heard about that. No, I read about that.
Yeah, me too.
What does it mean?
It means it's the National Day of Giving. Okay. It's the day after Cyber Monday.
Oh, okay.
Now that you bought yourself a new big screen, how about doing something nice for somebody else?
There you go.
Donate to some charity, or set up a food drive, or collect new toys for the needy kids. Heck, you can even pay for a stranger's coffee or pay it forward at a drive-thru.
There you go. Pay it forward. It'd be a great day to do that.
This is Giving Tuesday.
It's also National Roof Over Your Head Day, reminding us to be thankful for what we have, because it is cold outside.
Yeah. Yes. It'd been nice to have had a roof and some heat and a big picture window when we were doing the parade last night.
Do you like green bean casserole?
I love it.
Well, it's National Green Bean Casserole
Day. What's the stuff those little sprinkle? Is it onions?
Those French fried onion things.
Oh, I love those things.
Do you?
I've eaten those right out of the can.
Oh, well,
I know you're not supposed to, but
who
I
cares?
do.
Yeah. We all do it.
Yeah.
It's also International Day of Persons with Disabilities Day.
Okay.
And what is this one?
World Trick Shot Day. You know, you've seen those guys that do those trick shots where they take a ping pong and bounce it off things, and it finally ends up in a cup or something.
Or even with playing pool.
Yeah,
there's probably trick shots.
Oh,
and stuff,
trick
right?
shots.
Okay.
It's funny, you see those and you go, wow, that's amazing, but how many times did they do it to get it right?
Right.
1,562 times.
Tuesday, our show is over, or just about, and we'll be back tomorrow. On what days tomorrow?
Tomorrow's Hump Day.
It's probably going to be cold again, though.
Oh, boy.
Repeat.
Yikes.
Repeat and repeat.
See you tomorrow, guys.
Yep. Take care till then.